What's going on, guys? Detached here, and today we finally have that massive update we've all been waiting on from Bungie. It does address a number of different issues with the game, new content, additions, and plenty of updates. So let's jump in and break this thing down. So first off, for the news, the faction rally will be returning on January the 16th. And the Iron Banner will be returning back to the rotation on January 30th. It's nice to finally have dates surrounding both of these events and when they are going to be back. But next up, Chris Barrett talks about content and breaks down what content is tied behind the expansions. He says expansions are purchasable updates that typically add new story, destinations, and gear, as well as new Crucible, Strike, and Raid Lair content. Seasons introduce content that is made available to all players of Destiny 2 at no additional cost. He also goes on to say the Iron Banner, faction rallies, and the rewards will be available to everyone as part of Season 2, and additionally, Bungie is going forward. We're going to be making a change that new seasonal rewards from the Crucible, Strikes, and the Trials of the Nine will be available to everybody. All of this is definitely positive information, but next we hear about the Eververse. He says, we recognize that the scales are tipped too far towards tests at the moment, and Eververse was never intended to be a substitute for in-game content and rewards. So Bungie says we'll be making 3 changes for the upcoming seasons. He says we're shifting the balance of new content in favor of activity rewards over the bright engrams. This includes adding ghosts, sparrows, and ships, to date found only in bright engrams, back to the achievement pools and the loot tables. We'll provide a gameplay path to earn bright engrams and all contained rewards, including event engrams, and they're also going to be giving players more direct purchase options and make adjustments to bright engrams to allow players to get the items they want more often. They also say they've begun implementing these changes for the Crimson Days event beginning February 13th, and it says even more changes are going to be on the way with Season 3, and some of those are going to be including completing your Nightfall, the Raid, and Crimson Days milestones during the Crimson Days. They're going to be rewarding you an exclusive legendary emote, weapon skin, and exotic sparrow. They also say the players will earn double engrams at level up, 1 crimson engram and 1 illuminated engram for the duration of the event. The crimson engrams can also drop from completing the Crimson Days matches and from completing the Crimson Days milestones on each of your characters. And lastly, they say each crimson engram is very strongly weighted to new rewards and decrypted until all new event items have been obtained. So these are definitely steps in the right direction, but Eververse is going to continue to be a controversial subject in the community, as there are just a ton of people out there that want the thing completely removed from the game altogether. But I'm definitely happy to see Bungie adding some of these items that have been behind the paywall into the game reward systems and improving our drop rates and chances of getting something good out of these items finally. They do plan to continue work on Eververse, but personally for me, I think it's a step in the right direction, but as always, I would like to see them do more with it. They also go on to say that they are still investigating changes to the XP earn rates. They say our goal with any updates to XP are transparency and consistent XP gains regardless of your preferred activity. Right now, it's way too slow in general and lopsided towards grinding specific activities, and I completely agree, it's just not a fun grind when you're in that situation. So they are working on fixing that without making those activities basically a low value to players who aren't grinding them. and their first attempt turned out to be very unworkable and buggy, so we're having to investigate in other areas, and they are continuing to look at that update as they move forward, so I'm sure we're going to be hearing more about the XP and how they'll be fixing it, tweaking it, and bringing something new back to the table for us. But here is where we get to see the featured roadmap and a lot of the new things. This is really where a lot of the positive comes in. And first up, we have a January 30th update that is going to be introducing the Masterwork Armor. They say we are expanding the Masterwork system to include the armor, and that armor provides increased damage reduction while using your super, and you can also re-roll the armor stats in that armor type. And similar to the Masterwork weapons, you can upgrade a piece of armor to the Masterwork by spending those Masterwork cores and legendary shards. So they are going to give you increased damage reduction while you're in your super with this gear. So basically you're going to be stronger. Now what I don't know is if this is going to be able to stack across multiple pieces of armor, but it is going to allow us to re-roll our armor stat types, and that is going to take us into a whole new level because we are no longer going to be stuck with the specific rolls. They also go on to say that there is going to be a raid reward rework. It says we are updating raid rewards to make them more unique and interesting. They will now feature mods with raid specific perks, and we are adjusting the rewards to ensure a raid item drops from each major encounter. The raid vendor will also going to be selling Leviathan and Eater of Worlds armor and weapons for purchases with the raid tokens and the legendary shards. And we are also adding a new ghost with raid specific perks that has a chance to drop from the Leviathan and Eater of Worlds final encounters. We intend to return to creating more raid and other activity unique rewards in the future. So this isn't a complete overhaul of the loot system, but I do like the changes that they're putting in, and I like the fact that we're now going to have raid specific perks that we can put into place. I think the raid specific ghost is a really cool idea. Now the part about being able to buy raid armor from the vendor, I get it because there's some people who have a hard time getting those drops, so I think it's great what they're doing. They're bringing new ideas and revamping that whole system, so I really look forward to what's coming next. So up next is the February update, and we don't have a specific date for this yet, but here is what they are going to be implementing. They are implementing strike scoring and high score tracking. Strike scoring is coming to the Nightfall and replacing the current time limit mechanic. The scoring is similar to the Destiny 1 system, but with adjustments to emphasize competitive execution of strike objectives and support for player selectable score modifiers. In February, the Nightfall high scores will be exposed in-game via new emblems and will unlock rewards. We also have plans for clan and community high scores in the works. They also talk about Mods 2.0. Work is underway on a full rework of armor and weapon mods. This will focus on reducing redundant mods, more unique theming, and greatly increasing their impact on your power. We are also going to be aiming for a February release, but the scope of the rework could push parts of all of it out to early spring. We'll be evaluating how mods play into the bright engram economy as a result, because we're sensitive to the pay-to-win outcomes. They've also got a quick play improvements, which is adjusting game mode rules to increase the pace of gameplay and power ammo acquisitions in the quick plays. There is also going to be, for you PC players, a PC tower chat. They're going to be adding text chat to the tower for anybody on the PC version of the game. They've also got an exotic repetition reduction, and I'm super pumped about this piece. This is going to prevent players from receiving the same exotic twice in a row. You may still receive duplicates, just not consecutively. And then Fireteam members on the destination maps. You're going to be finally able to see the other members of your fire teams on your destination maps. No more having to ask your fire team where they've gone, where do I fast travel, I think all of these changes are going to be huge. I'm really looking forward to when they bring the February update and give us an idea of when all of that is going to be put into place. So next up is the Spring 2018 update. Bungie says we're taking the time we need in development of Expansion 2 that will allow us to react to player feedback from the Curse of Osiris DLC. In the coming months, we'll talk to you more about what you can expect to find in Destiny 2's next story. The team is eager to show you what they've been working on, and I hope that that update is going to be far beyond any of the expectations that the community currently has. It says, independent of Expansion 2, the team will deliver a number of new features that will be released before or during Season 3. Every player of Destiny 2 will receive new content in the following categories. And those categories are broken down. And first up, guys, we've got the Crucible. It says we want to give players new reasons to play, more variety, and balance improvements. Spring is going to bring a number of exciting, long-awaited features to the Crucible. We've got the Crucible rank, and it says beginning with Season 3, we will introduce seasonal Crucible ranks. There will be 2 different ranks for players to pursue. Valor, which is going to be a progression rank that goes up as you complete matches, and winning helps you move up faster, but there are no less penalties. And then you have Glory. It's going to be a progression rank that goes up when you win, and it's going to come down when you lose, and Performance is how you move up. So the better you do, the higher you get. We are also going to be getting private matches back once again. Those private matches are coming to everybody in D2, and players will be able to invite their friends to play on all of those maps. We can set them up. There's going to be customization to it as well. Next up, we have 6v6. 6v6 is coming back, guys. We finally got that playlist. We're bringing 6v6 PvP to Destiny 2 in addition to our 4v4 game mode. So we're going to get both of those. We've got the Mayhem event. It's going to return as a limited time event during Season 3 and going forward into further seasons. And then they go on to say that they've got additional fixes coming as well. They're going to be making changes to quitting less common, and that's going to be a big change that they put in. And then behind the scenes, they're going to be making security improvements to help improve the overall Crucible experience. So 6v6 is coming back, guys, and so is Mayhem and some other modes as well, because we even heard about a mode of sudden death potentially being introduced with the Crimson Days. So very exciting for the Crucible, and I hope it brings some life back to the community because we definitely need it. And next up, we've got quite a few additional highlights to go over, and first off, the Weapon and Ability Balance Pass. Sandbox adjustments based on player feedback and data from the live game. The Sandbox team will share specific changes as we lead into Season 3. Exotic Weapon and Armor Balance Pass. We're going to be receiving exotic weapons and armors, are all receiving a very comprehensive design pass and rework. We also have the Seasonal Reputation. Specific vendors will now display a seasonal ranking, improved Iron Banner and faction rallies, in addition to the changes that you will see when the Iron Banner and faction rallies return this month. We are going to continue iterating on both of these to make them very unique, exciting experiences that you all will hopefully look forward to, and I hope so, because we definitely need some new stuff. We've got the playlist repetition reduction. This feature solves the problem of where we basically see the same strikes over and over and over, along with the Crucible. Hopefully we get some new maps and that repetition stops. In-game player pursuits. We agree with your feedback on the imbalance between achievement and bright engram rewards, and we will be making adjustments to shift more rewards into specific in-game pursuits instead of generic XP grinding for bright engrams. We are excited to share these details as soon as we have them worked out. We also have the multi-emote coming. That's going to be a brand new launcher inside of our UI. It's going to be able to choose which emote you want to have equipped in each of your 4 emote slots. And the big topic, vault space, guys. We are targeting an additional 50 slots to player vaults. 50 slots does not sound like a ton, but when you are cram-packed full of everything and you've got people that are collectors, 50 slots is going to be a ton. We don't believe just adding more space is a complete solution, but they are actively working on other changes to reduce load on your vault space. We are going to be adding an exotic accessory tab to the vault collection, so you will no longer need to spend vault space on exotic ships, sparrows, and ghosts. And they talk about the PC clan chat. In addition to the tower chat that is targeted for February, they're going to be adding clan chat to the PC version of the game as well. And then they've got heroic strike changes coming, as they're going to be introducing modifiers to add more gameplay and a variety to the different experiences that we have. So guys, there is a ton of stuff coming as far as all these highlights. I am very excited to see these brought into place. This is definitely a step in the right direction, and I really do hope this brings some positivity back in and feeds the community and sees an increase in where our players currently are. And they also go on to say, in the fall of 2018 or sooner, we are going to be working on a lot more. They're just not ready to discuss those topics yet. So here's a list of things: the item collections and records, weapon slots and archetype improvements, additional Crucible playlists, better clan rewards, Masterwork exotics, pinnacle weapon and gear improvements, Trials of the Night improvements, shaders and dismantling, the future of guided games, and addressing solo versus fireteam matchmaking. So guys, that is all the stuff that they're going to be looking at, and some of this is going to come at the end of January, more in February, and some later this spring and further into the year. There are going to be a ton of positive things that I think this is going to bring for the game, and all in all, this is going to be a great update. Nothing basically that fixes all our issues in D2, but it's definitely a step in the right direction if you personally ask me. But what do you guys think of this news update and the fixes that they're bringing? Do you think there are positive updates? And will, all in all, is this going to help the game and improve our situation? I personally think overall, these are going to help improve the game, but it's going to be a continual process of improvement, and it's going to take time to roll out. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and if you guys have enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all the new D2 content. And as always guys, you all stay awesome, and I will see you next time.